Yes, please.
While we do that, so Karen Richards is certified by the International Coach Federation as a career and business coach. Karen's job is to help professionals and business owners in their careers and to navigate entrepreneurship. Step by step, she helps to strategize actionable solutions and ensure measurable results that will propel her clients to achieve their goals with a high degree of success. Transitioning from corporate to career and business coach, Karen personally understands the effort and commitment involved in being supported throughout the phases of her clients' professional careers. Karen's approach uses concepts from the future of work, focusing on leadership development through adaptation, design thinking, and corporate strategy. So we really appreciate you being here today. So what's your website before we get started, just so I can put it in the chat?
Yeah, www.KarenNatashaCoaching.com, or on IG, it's @KarenNatashaCoaching.
Perfect. So I'll put that in here. And then you emailed the presentation to Alex?
I did. I emailed it.
So I don't know if you want to get started, and then he can, once he pops up, he can do the slides for you. I see he's just entered. So
that's great. Thanks.
All right. So I'll leave you to it, and then Alex will get you all set up with your slides.
That's great. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Karen.
So welcome everyone. Thanks for joining me today. Good afternoon, Bezhan. See that you're online. If you have any questions while I am speaking, feel free to just pop them in the chat, and I will be keeping an eye on that. So let's get into the resumes straight off the bat. So why am I not getting any callbacks? Hey, Alex.
Hi. Hi, Karen. I'm just going to do the screen share now. So just let me know when you want me to go to the next slide, okay?
Yes. So the first one is, why am I not getting any callbacks? Slide number 4.
1 second.
So I have many.
Do you see it on your screen?
I do. Go to slide number 4. So I help many people, and they express their frustrations with how they've sent out and how little response they have gotten back. And you could click again. There's supposed to be a little picture there. Perfect. A resume without a relationship is really a worthless piece of paper. And I'm going to show you how to leverage your resume to land that job. It's time to really rethink everything you know about writing a resume. So I'm not sure if you've been to other workshops or other seminars on resume, but we really break them down into like a 5-step process, so it makes it really easy for you as you go along. So the next slide. So the 5-step process, I'm going to walk you through a simple 5-step process that shows why and how you should flip your resume thinking differently. Let's start on how you can make your resume land that right job. Next slide. The first one is tell them who you know. You can click until everything's on the screen. Tell them who you know. What do I mean by that? Your references really matter. So your references need to matter to the people reviewing your resume. That means your former reference of a coach or unrelated won't make much of an impact as a reference who's already employed at the company you are interested in. You don't need a direct relationship to establish the credibility or leverage relationship, but many, many times you may not know someone personally, but don't let that limit you. You should really do your research to find out who you know who's at the company, or who knows somebody who's there. So as the first point says, your resume needs to highlight relevant relationships at the top of the page. Usually people put the references at the bottom of the page, but as I said earlier, we're going to flip our thinking of resumes and we're going to bang it on its head and turn it upside down. So the relationships that you've built, the references should actually be at the top of the resume. Your reference needs to matter to the person who is reviewing your resume. It's not what you know, it's really who you know. And as you list your references, include their name, the amount of time that you have known the person, and how you met. Then follow up with a 2-sentence endorsement from your reference if you can get one. That's what's going to make your resume pop. Next slide. Step 2. You can keep going till it fills out the slide. Step 2, tell them why you want to work at the company. Make sure you draw the connection between your values and the work that you do every day. This is your chance to really show how much you're a great fit. Make sure you draw the connection between your values and the work that you do every day. When they read your resume, for the job should really shine through. Your excitement about having the opportunity to take on a position, how much you'd love to play a role in the work in the organization that they do. For example, I have long admired the mission of XYZ, name the company and say, I'm also passionate about XYZ. Just put a little bit more of an exclamation into your resume as to why you want to be there. Again, if you have any kind of comments for me, pop them in the chat and I will address them as we're going through. So tell them why you really want to work for the company. You've established personal credibility with who you know. Now you need to pizzazz them with your knowledge and show them enthusiasm about the company. So the first thing we did was the references about who you know. Now you need to really pizzazz them and tell them what you know. Show your enthusiasm about the company. Do your homework on the company's vision, purpose, and mission statement. What do they do? Those are the three things you should really be finding out about the company when you're applying. Get to know who they are and what they stand for. Let's go to step 3. So step 3, tell them why you're a great fit for the role you're applying to. For example, this role aligns well with my character qualities. I'm a hard worker and a loyal team player. I'm a quick learner with a high attention to detail. I'm results-driven and highly organized, but my true passion is helping people. So this is where you highlight your talents, as I've just done before, that are relevant about the position. Show them that you really want to win. Your passion for the role and the work should come across as they read more about who you are. Make sure your character strengths, in addition to your skills, are really elevated in your resume. So kind of make it almost like a story. Instead of just a bullet point of, I do this, this, and this, put a little bit of a context around what it is that they want to know about you and why you're a great fit for the role. And then moving to step 4. So step 4, no one really cares that you are, for example, an account director. So no one really cares about the title per se of what you say you are. But if you add something additional to that, it gives it a little bit more context so they can really see who you are. So as I said, for example, no one really cares that you're an account director. This is an example with just the title. Follow up with an example of, I'm responsible for maintaining daily operations of the bank's accounting department, in charge of overseeing financial reporting and financial services, managed a team of 3 people, all of whom advanced under my time in leadership. That there gives a little bit more context as to what you've done in the past that is relevant to the position. So no one just wants to hear you're an analyst, you're a customer service person, or you're a rep of some kind, or you're a sales assistant. We need to add more content, like I gave you the example just now. So when sharing relevant experience, don't just list the job title. Follow the title with a 1 to 2 sentence job description that includes what results you were responsible for producing in that role. So again, don't just put what you do, put more of the results that you got in reference to what you do. So you can put what you do and add the results as a follow-up to that. So it gives a lot more context as to what you do. And step number 5, tell them what you do. So with this, note where you went to school, note what years you were there and what you got your degree in. But remember, your specific career path may not require a degree from a 4-year university or an elite master's program. So there might be someone on the workshop today that actually doesn't have a degree. It's okay, because you're going to use your skills. You're going to use your life experience. Of course, if you have that degree in that from that elite master's program, or you have that 4-year degree, of course you're going to put that. But if you don't, then how else can you beef your resume up? You can by your skills and your life experience. So tell them what you can do. List any relevant education, training, and certifications you hold. If you don't have that, list your life experience. Don't discount yourself if you don't have a degree, as I mentioned. Training and certifications are many times as just important as a formal education. Focus on the experience and the skills that relate to the specific job you are hoping to land, and the rest will work out on its own. And last but not least, when we've done all of the things, and I'm hoping that you can really see this, when you've done all of the things that we have mentioned, the final version of your polished resume. So starting from the top, as you can see, you would actually put your, and I don't know if you can see it, you can put your name, your accounting professional with leadership experience. I always put a one line, and this is the one that I put, the sample I put here. It's your name in bold letters. You put, I'm an accountant, this is an example, accounting professional with leadership experience. You put your address, you put your LinkedIn information, and you put your email. The first line, as I said in step one, is who you know. This is where you include the name of a reference at the company you're applying for. And do your research, because usually you can find somebody that knows somebody that works there. Then the second step, you put why you want to work at the company. And this is where you write about why you want to work at this company. So that's that little blurb that you put there. Next, as I said in the third step, how can you add value? This is where you put in the third step of why you're a great fit for the role you're applying for. It's how you can add value. And then fourth, it's where have you been? What have you done in the past? This is the relevant position that you've put on there. And then lastly, what you can do. What have you learned? And that's where at the bottom, you would put your degree, and then you'd put your certifications. And if you just say don't have a degree, you'd put some of your life skills that you've come across. And your resume should be one page. One page to the algorithms to go through, one page for someone to do a quick look, for something to pop. If you have more than one page, it tends to get very tedious for the HR person. The algorithms won't pick up anything other than from the first page. So put everything that you have it concise, and have it on the first page. This is the final version of your resume. It's going to be polished, professional, and ready to land. Always wanted. Are there any questions that we have? You can go to the last page. That's how they can reach me. Thank you for joining me today. Do we have any questions about how to land that job with the 5-step quick process of resume writing on tips to land that job? Any questions we have? We have at least 5 minutes where we can interact and chat about anything that you have there. Any questions? If you need to reach me, the website information is there, www.KarenNatashaCoaching.com, or if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Karen Natasha Coaching on Instagram. What do you think of putting icons on the resume? Icons are fine on the resume to identify, but again, keep it simple. Don't overcrowd it. They really want to see words as to what you do, so have the least amount of words as possible and make them very valuable, but icons are fine on the resume. Are there any websites where we can upload resumes and system critics it for better? I don't know of any resumes. I just know resume writers that I work with that have resumes reviewed, and you pay for that service. So I don't know of any websites per se, but I do know of resume writers that can provide that. I don't know of any. And this is a different, so I'm just going through the chat in case you're just wondering. I'm just trying to answer some of the questions. What are some of the best strategies to write an executive summary on a resume? Again, for me, if you look at the page, I don't do an executive summary. I do 2 lines that talks about who you are. It was one of the first things. So that should be a very simple 2-line process. When you talk about executive summary, it almost sounds a little bit long. I just do a statement. I think you probably mean a statement that you put on the beginning of the resume. that's telling them who you know. So my resumes look a little bit different than the norm. Yes, sorry, going to the next one, Dr. Vereen. This is a very different format from a traditional 2-page resume with a profile on top. The resume should be 1 page. We're now in a data-driven, data analytics-driven algorithm mode of business, and people don't have time to look through lots of paper. You have 1 page for the cover letter and 1 page for the resume. The people don't have time to look through tons and tons of paper. That's why your resume really has to be succinct. So I know probably we've worked at lots of places, but you really want to just get the last couple of years that can fit on your resume. And obviously out the things in your resume that are suitable to the job description. And that's where you have to do your most work, is actually researching the job and the people that work there rather than your resume. Once you've done that research, then you know how to position your resume to speak to that job that you're applying for. Hello, I recently received my confirmation of permanent resident inspector. Okay. I was asking. I think there's some job recruiters that are in this virtual career conference. So have a look for them and see if they can perhaps point you in the right direction of chances of securing a job. I saw that. So the algorithms work on key words. Oh, hi, Rachel. On certain key
sorry,
words.
I thought you were finished. So
no, that's okay. That's in the last question from Rajesh.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the algorithms work with certain words that pop. And so that's why it's really important to get a job description and really see how you can add value with that job. Don't just start applying for jobs. I notice people, because of the climate, when people are just applying for jobs that they're actually not even interested or even are quite suited with the qualifications. The two have to align for you even to have the ATS working for you. So please do read and look at the job description and even go as far as connect with people on LinkedIn that are working there to see if they know a little bit about the company, just so you can get more knowledge and more insight into the company before you're applying. The two have to align. We'll pick up if you're not even suited, if your qualifications aren't suited for the job. So get a job that you actually want to apply for and that you're actually suitably qualified. I think it's there is another question. I'm not sure if we have time for that right now.
Yeah, sure, go ahead. Yeah, one more question for sure.
The section is related to the co you are applying for. Don't understand that question. The who you know is the who you know I was referring to is the relationships that you at the company. And if you don't know somebody, try to find somebody that knows somebody, because it's funny how we're actually all connected in some way. So it's not necessarily who you know, but it's who you know might know somebody at that company. Because to not have that connection, it really puts you in a slim chance. Not that you can't get a job that way, but it really puts you at a disadvantage than the rest, who you know at the company. Yes, I would. Yes, I do suggest that you connect with somebody at the company. That is exactly what I'm saying, Dr. Verena. Yes.
Amazing. Well, you're always so concise. Like it's, you get a lot of stuff out in 20 minutes, right? All right, we have one more. So I've had 2 scenarios where I was uploading my resume, but I found some spelling errors on the site. Is it a good idea to highlight the error, which is on their site?
Absolutely. I do that all the time. And that actually puts you that, oh, there's somebody out there who actually paid attention. So that's actually a good thing. And I think you should. I think the company would want to know, and it actually looks good for you that you detected that detail. It means that you're very detailed orientated.
Right. I was just going to say a lot of jobs require you have strong attention to detail. So, all right. Well, thank you so much, Karen, for being here. I put your website again. If anyone wants to reach out to you, I'm sure they can do that by website, or if you want to share your LinkedIn or your email. Amazing. So thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your time so much.
Welcome. Thanks, Rachel. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.